One of the things I'm most proud of is our mental health department, where we provide low-cost counseling to special needs individuals and their families. During times like this is something that everyone can use.
Hey.
Hey.
It's Matt Asner and my special guest host today,
Will
Asner.
I'm a sub for Navah today.
Who's joining me because, well, let's face it. You've probably seen a couple of weeks that Navah has not been here, and it's because she's really not feeling well. Now, it's not COVID, but it's bronchitis, and it's taken a hold of her, and it's made her submit to it. Basically, she has submitted to the bronchitis. So if you're out there and you know Navah, just send her a note, wish her well, send her a virtual hug, and make her feel better. Hi, how are you?
What are we going to be talking about?
Well, we're going to talk. We're going to talk now. We're going to tell people. So today's show is a very special show because we're going to be talking basically all day about for the next hour about how we're dealing with this, pandemic, what's going on. How are we dealing with this pandemic?
My name is Will, and
we're gonna get to the like how we're dealing with it, but give me a quick 2-second thing on how we're dealing with it, and then we're gonna get into it later.
It's hard.
It sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It
sucks.
So we're gonna talk about that today, and then we're also gonna we have Jill and Spencer Hart are gonna join us, and we're gonna have a roundtable discussion with Michelle Tapia, one of our resident therapists, about what we can do, how we can kind of readjust, how we can just do things differently, think more positively, right?
Yeah, not pessimistic.
Right. Well, let's talk about something that was positive this week, and let's talk about something that maybe some inspiring moments.
Like I got to spend time with my dad right here.
There we go. See, and we're spending time right now.
Yeah, and I love him very much.
And I love you. So we've got something in common, don't we? Yeah. So I want to talk about the inauguration just for a little brief moment, because there was something that happened in the inauguration that I think was really important for a number of reasons. At every inauguration, there was a poem by a poet laureate, and most of the time it's someone like Miller Williams, who did it for Bill Clinton, and many others. Maya Angelou, I think, did it for Obama. There was a young woman at President Biden's inauguration named Amanda Gorman, who gave a very inspiring speech. And it's important because Amanda Gorman grew up with a disability. She had a speech impediment, and I believe something else that I'm not exactly clear what it was, but certainly she had to overcome many things. And she's 21 years old, and she is this incredible wordsmith, a poet. She is a poet, is what she is. And I really want to show her speech because I think it's truly something that should be seen by everyone. It's a very inspiring speech called "The Hill We Climb." And I'm just going to play it, and then I want you to listen to it, Will, because
okay.
I want to hear what you have to think about it. And then if you're out there, we are live right now. So if you're out there,
whether you're in LA, Minneapolis,
that's right, Alaska,
New York, Canada,
I want you to write in the comments and tell us what you think about it. What do you think about this speech? Pretty incredible
positive
speech.
or negative.
So this is Amanda Gorman.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. in the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
All right. So that was Amanda Gorman.
I thought
What
it
did you think
was
of that?
amazing.
Yeah. What did you take home from that?
I took home from you shouldn't like judge a book by its cover, and you shouldn't be like mean.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, so that young woman is 21.
She's an incredible woman.
Yeah.
And I would like to, I'm happy that Biden's our new president.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that Kamala Harris is in office with him. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, congratulations. So, but did it inspire you? Did it inspire you knowing that she has overcome a disability
Yes.
and was able to speak at the inauguration?
Yes.
And I mean, that's inspiring.
That is
it's
very
inspiring.
inspiring.
It's inspiring that
that makes my heart
sing.
Huh?
It makes your heart sing.
It makes my heart to see her do that.
Mine too.
It's a big improvement.
It's very impressive and special.
It's very special.
And here's Kamina's going to make a statement here. She is such a beautiful young woman who truly represents the hope of our future of togetherness. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And may that be the case. May we be in togetherness for the next 4 years or beyond. Let that happen. Let's see. So, so today we're going to talk about what's going on and how we're doing and what's, how we're feeling and how we're dealing with our feelings and how that's affecting us as a whole. So we're going to be joined today by Michelle Tapia, who is a therapist here at Asner Family Center. Michelle, how are you? How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you both?
We're good. Thank you for joining us. And then also joining us today is Jill Hart and Spencer Hart. Jill,
Hi, guys.
Jill.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
We're good.
Hi,
We're
Michelle.
good.
Hi.
Hi, Michelle.
This is my co-host, Will. Have you ever met him?
Really? Hi, Will.
Hi.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm happy that you're joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling?
Okay. It's been a rough time for all of us, hasn't it?
Definitely. Me too.
Yeah.
I every time I look at Will, I'm jealous of his hair.
His hair is phenomenal.
He's got
It's like-
rock and roll hair.
It's the best hair. You have the best hair. You have the best quarantine hair, Will. Nobody has hair like you.
We're friends.
She's in the other room. Shall I go get her?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're
All right. I'm just gonna pause you for a second.
okay.
Hold on.
So we're talking about. So Michelle, we want to talk today about how you can talk. You're the co-host. You can talk.
All right. I've been doing okay lately. I've had a rough couple of months.
Okay. Why don't you expand on that?
I have what's called depression and anxiety. And it's made me realize that I could get so caught back in the past and not even realize.
So you
And then,
do you tend to look at the past
yes.
and kind of center it on the past? That's kind of what you focus on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet a lot of people do that, don't they, Michelle?
I think that a lot of people do that. I think that we have things that upset us and we tend to think about them over and over and over again. And, the problem is that doesn't make it better. It makes us more stressed out.
Hi, Spence.
Hi.
Spencer, we're talking about the kind of the situation that we're in, and that we've been in for almost a year.
Almost 2 years.
No, almost a year.
Almost a
It
year.
feels like 2 years,
Feels
but
like
it's almost a year. But we're talking about what we're how we're doing and how we're dealing with that. And Will is saying he gets very depressed and anxiety ridden because he centers on the past a lot and what it was, and not necessarily what could be or what he could make of it. So
When I get depressed, I turn out to be very pessimistic sometimes.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we talk about a lot is trying to, stay in the light, stay in the positive. Yes, we're in a quarantine. Yes, things are hard. Yes, we can't see our friends, and there's a lot of, scary, worrisome stuff going on. But equally, there's also some really great stuff going on as well,
Family time. Well,
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
very close to my cousin Xander because he comes to help me out with school, and he's an incredible person.
Right, and that's
Same with
great,
my
right?
brother Jake. Jake has helped me throughout this pandemic, mentally and physically, and I love him.
So great. See, so there's so many good things happening too, and that's where we're trying to stay in that lane,
Well, I'm curious, and maybe Michelle can kind of talk to us about maybe some tools that we have that we can use, that we have in ourselves to kind of refocus our senses on other things. But I'm curious to ask Spencer, when you get down during this time, what do you do? What helps you get out of that? What helps you move towards the light, so to speak?
Making bracelets. I'm doing puzzles. And drawing anime.
Yeah, you do a lot of art, right?
And I keep singing.
And singing. And so
that's
do you?
tough, right?
Yeah, and watching K-pop on TV.
Yes, I know.
And also Animal Crossing.
Okay. So Michelle, can you talk to us a little bit about maybe some tools out there that you can tell people about that can like help them refocus their energy on something more positive?
Sure. There's a lot of great stuff, and I mean, it's some of the stuff is really simple. Like maintaining your rhythm and keeping your schedule, and a consistent bedtime, and kind of having a structure to your day that gives you focus. But there's emotional coping. Like candles and deep breathing. But then there's also like tangible, making lists and problem solving. And one of the things that I've been enjoying doing, you can find anything on YouTube. So I have loved going on YouTube and learning how to develop new habits and new hobbies, like the bracelet making. I mean, I think that's amazing. And you can learn how to make all different sorts of patterns. There are all sorts of tutorials on YouTube, or making oatmeal cookies, or learning how to knit a scarf. Something that can take us outside of ourselves and put our focus on something tangible.
I don't know about maybe eating oatmeal cookies.
We've been eating a lot.
That would make me happy.
There is a link between sugar and mood and serotonin, so I think you're onto something there.
Right? Yeah. Well, what kind of things do you do to what kind of activities or positive energy do you have? What do you have to focus into? Let's think about that. You play a lot of music.
I have trouble looking at the positive side a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a difficult time making that transition.
Okay.
That's been an issue, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I keep telling him that we need to kind of refocus what we're focusing on, because you're focusing on negativity, right? On the negative side of things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I keep telling him that he wants to focus on something that makes him excited and happy. And and
What
stuff
sort of things make you happy and excited?
Cats.
Cats. I love cats. I mean, maybe you could make cat memes, or you could, figure out how to make cat graphics, and print them on stickers.
I'm not really a dog person.
Yeah.
What about Panda?
But you have Panda, the cutest dog in the world.
right.
I like cats a little bit more.
But it's funny because he does art too. He does a lot of art. And when
Will, you are such a great painter. Your paintings are fantastic.
And also Eddie.
Yeah.
and when he does art, he always puts a cat in his art.
Can I tell them about my hobbies?
Of course. That's what we're talking about.
My hobbies, what make me happy, I like a long time ago, I liked when they do those ads with those two men, the Metro PCS commercials a long time ago. And a long time ago, me and my dad used to take the trolley here, the light rail trolley in LA.
We did.
There's 4 different trolley systems: the blue, the green, and the Expo, and the gold. And then there's just the subway, the red and the purple that I used to take.
Yeah. Will knows a lot about trains.
I know all around LA.
That's
LA
cool,
is
Will.
huge.
That's helpful. That's a great skill.
That's very cool.
So Spencer,
Yeah.
how are you feeling these days?
I've been feeling kind of great and kind of bored.
Kind of bored?
Yeah.
It's
kind of boring inside my house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think now, do you ever think that maybe does it ever make you feel better to think that everyone feels that way?
Yeah.
That's what I keep saying. We're not in this alone. The whole world is going through this.
Yeah, everyone feels that way because everyone's kind of stuck at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's gained 10 pounds.
Everyone's been big.
That's for amateurs.
Maybe 20. I don't know. I'm trying to come to terms with my weight gain. I don't know.
It's
but
bad.
But I think it's sometimes it's difficult to put yourself out there and kind of think what other people are going through as well.
Who are our comments from?
Huh?
Who are our comments from?
From Carolyn Clausen. You want to read that one?
Yeah, I need.
Okay. Here.
And then Navah's.
Here, read that one. Can you read it?
I can't see very well.
Can't see very well? Here, I'll read it. So it says, I have been doing, well, I'm going to have to read it over here. I have been doing with virtual dances with my friends to keep myself busy during this pandemic. Hey.
Nice.
There we go.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like the dance class with Robin.
That's right. So Carolyn Clausen and Spencer just, really kind of hit on something. So what do we do? How do we get that going? How do we get our juices flowing? So one of the things that we've done at the center is we've kind of created all these classes which are free for all of you out there. So you could partake. Robin Olive, her dance class is, help me, it's Tuesdays at 4:00. And we have all sorts of other classes for you to enjoy. And we're actually going to add to those classes coming up. We'll be making an announcement the next couple of weeks on a couple more classes that you're going to love. And the important thing to stress is that they're free because, money's tight these days as well. And we want to give people the opportunity, all people the opportunity to join us and have fun and have it be free. Now, Michelle, sometimes I think people need a little more than that. So talk to us a little bit about how maybe they can call you guys for therapy. if they want to, they think they need to see someone. Can you let us know a little bit about how they can do that?
Absolutely. Because we can only do so much at home when we're feeling stressed out, when we're feeling anxious. Sometimes we need just a little bit more help from someone else, and it doesn't have to be long term, but all they have to do is call the phone number to the center and speak with Krissa, and Krissa can schedule them with one of us. We have like 4 amazing therapists on staff, and we all have very different specialties, and we all have things that we're really good at, and we would absolutely love to talk to you and help you through whatever it is that your personal struggle is. Because, videos like this are fantastic and I love them, but you're trying to talk to everybody, and so the advice is all really generalized, and so sometimes people just need to feel understood in a more concrete way. And I think that, right now everyone has that fear of missing out. And we need to realize no one's missing out on anything right now. We're all kind of stuck at home for the most part, and there are things that we can do. And give us a call because we would love to help you.
Awesome, thank you. And once again, if you want to reach out to us, and all you have to do is call 818-855-2199, or write Krista at asnerfamilycenter.org. Sorry. At asnerfamilycenter.org, and give us your info, and we'll get back to you, and there you go. So
Matt, I just want to say, I think what you guys are doing is you're one of the few places out there that is offering so many services to the community during this time, and it's amazing what you guys are doing between the free classes and the mental health services, and just being a touch point for so many people during this time. It's, kudos. You guys are doing amazing work.
thank you, Jill. I really appreciate your words, and we're here because we want the community to be okay.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Right.
That's right. That is why we're here. You're not alone. All right. Perfect. So yeah, I mean, it's something that that Navah and I have always, we've always wanted this kind of thing for ourselves. So it's selfishly driven, really. But we really want the community to thrive, and we hope that we're helping that happen. We really do.
Yeah.
Oh my. We just have this. Here's a bunch of stuff here. Look at all that. Class is currently online, all free. Monday, Music with Judy at 4 p.m. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Tuesday Dance Party with Vitamin Olive and Straight Up Abilities on Zoom at 4 p.m. every Tuesday. Thursday, Character Drawing with Aviva at 4 p.m. live on Facebook and on YouTube. On Saturdays, Arts and Crafts with Aviva at 12 p.m. live on Facebook and on YouTube. Saturday, Movie Night Chat with Chelsea, our 18 and over online social discussing a different movie each week on Zoom at 7 p.m. Sunday. Yoga with Shauna at noon on Sunday on Zoom, and there we go. So yeah, lots of stuff happening at the center.
I have anxiety too, and that's more future driven. That's when I focus more about the future.
That's a very good point. Michelle, that's an interesting point. He just, because is depression kind of more about the past and anxiety more about the future?
Well, anxiety is also a lot about the present, anything could, happen at any time, and anything could go wrong, and something could hurt me. So anxiety is future for certain, but also very much present as well.
What about depression?
We can say the same for depression, because depression is I'm sad now, and I'm always going to be sad, and you kind of project our sadness and our loneliness into the future, and think that how we're feeling now is how we're always going to be feeling. but that's not accurate. You know, there are all sorts of things that we can do to change our mood in the present and create a different future for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
I want to be a construction worker someday.
really,
I want to like drive equipment.
well, actually, that's an interesting you can focus on. Interesting thing you could focus on, right?
Right.
You know, do research. You know, research on that. You really,
Right.
is that really what you want to do?
I want to drive a like one of those bulldozers, like a mini Bobcat,
Uh-huh.
and
Well,
a forklift maybe.
you have to get a special license for that, I think. So we'll have to work towards that, right?
And Jilly could come.
Jill?
Yeah, I'll come and watch you.
All right. All right.
I'll come
Well,
and cheer
I
you
love Michelle.
So, well, Michelle, and I thank you for being here and joining us.
Thank you, Michelle.
And I think, and Jill and Spencer, I thank you for being here and joining us as well. It's always
Thank
great
you for
to have
having
you on.
us, Matt, and thank you for everything that you're doing for the community. Really.
Thank you.
Anytime, guys.
And we'll talk with you soon, both of you soon.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So that was very cool.
Very.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have some comments.
We have some comments. Okay. Carolyn says, I'm definitely a cat person myself. So you have a connection there.
Go down.
There
Navah
you
put
go.
something.
She did? Oh, no, I think it's up here. New programs announced soon. Okay.
Go down.
No, that's it. That's it. See,
Okay.
that's it. Are you leaving?
I'm standing up. Are you off the air?
No, we're on the air.
Who are we going on with?
What?
Who are we going on with?
We're just ourselves now.
Oh.
Are we? What do you want to talk about?
Are you going to be live?
We're live right now.
Just the fact that the past is very tough for me.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, my parents got divorced. That's the whole thing. I went in through like an anger phase.
Yeah, but you're doing all right with the anger now.
I'm
right?
doing all right with it now. I'm much better than I was back then.
Yeah.
So,
I have a question for you.
yes.
What inspires you?
What inspires me?
Yes. What do you look at and you think that makes me happy?
Flowers
Really?
and bees.
Well, and my mother really instilled that in you, didn't she?
Yeah.
So
She's not with us anymore. She
No,
passed away,
she passed
which
away.
made me really sad.
it made me really sad.
I almost cried.
I did cry. But let's talk about bees and flowers for a minute. Is there a specific type of flower or bee that makes you happiest?
I would have to say the honeybee.
Yeah. What about the flower? What kind of flower makes you happiest?
I would have to go with an Easter lily and a red rose.
Wow. This is a man who knows his flowers. Okay. And here's Mia Mack. Mia Mack is saying that, let's see. She is saying, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this up here. There we go. Flowers are beautiful. And I agree with that. They are beautiful. And I think she's saying this about you. Such a sweet soul. And yes, I agree. He does have a sweet soul. So you said the Easter lily or the rose, the red rose?
A red rose specifically.
Really?
Yeah.
Are those the most so that's the flower that inspires you the
The
most?
most common rose
Is
is
it-
a
really?
red
Red rose.
rose.
And that's cool. What about is there a plant that you like that's not necessarily a flower?
I don't know.
Okay. You know what plants I like?
What?
I mean, it's kind of strange, but I loved those big saguaro cactuses. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Answer.
They're giant. Well, we're on right now, so I'm not going to do that. But the giant, saguaro cactuses. They have them in Arizona.
Those are dangerous.
They're really pretty. They're really pretty. But
I like. Not too long ago, I actually miss elementary school.
Yeah.
There was this school I went to named Serenia, and there was like a lot of construction there. They were fixing up their parking lot.
And that was exciting for you to see that.
Yeah, and I think I want to like fix up a parking lot or something.
All right. Hey,
and
yeah.
Many of you guys live in apartments. I think apartments were built by like forklifts and
that's right.
Bulldozers.
Yeah, and movers, earth movers.
Yeah.
Power crane drivers, right?
Yeah. I support I think people since we're a blue state, yeah. I think everybody should yell hooray for Biden.
Since we're a blue state.
That's the theme color. He's wearing blue.
Oh. Okay. All right. So
I'm a liberal myself.
Yeah. Yep. So, well, look, is there a parting statement that you'd like to give people that maybe are having a tough time going through this pandemic, that need a little extra help, that need a little push,
yes.
a little push in the positive direction? Is there something you want to tell them?
Yeah.
What do you want to tell them?
You're not alone. That's right. Actually have depression and anxiety. I know how you guys feel. I mean, what I'm doing is putting myself in people's shoes.
Yeah. And have you learned something here today? Talking to Michelle and Spencer, have you learned something that maybe you can apply when you're feeling down?
When you're feeling down, the first step is to talk it out.
That's good. Talk it out. And what maybe what? I've got an idea. Maybe when you're starting to feel down, maybe look at a rose. Maybe smell a rose. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe look at the bees. You've got a lot of bees in your room. You got a book of bees, and you've got actually Gary, our friend Gary, sent you that beautiful, like the evolution of a honeybee. You could look at that, right?
Yeah.
Or you could just play with your hair, right?
Stop.
All right. Well, we're gonna say what?
I may want to do dumpster pickup sometimes.
Dumpster pickup?
Yeah. Like many of you seen Republic Services, those trucks that pick up the dumpsters.
Sure. Yeah.
WM.
That would be a good job.
Maybe I think I may want to do that.
Look into.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we look into that. Okay.
And I'll see you all soon.
All right. Well, from Will Asner and
Matthew Asner.
Matt Asner and the Ed Asner Family Center, we say keep your seatbelt fastened. We will see you next week. The last 8 months have been incredibly difficult for everyone, and to have a small business, a nonprofit that depends on the interaction and the physicality of being around people.
Yeah.
It's a huge wall that all of a sudden appeared.
For the kids that are really used to having this social interaction, they're really struggling in the COVID kind of lockdown.
We very quickly adapted, and we created online content and virtual content that we decided at the very beginning that we wanted to make for free.
Chelsea Darnell. She runs Movie Chat. She started it at the very beginning of the pandemic, and it was a way for teens all over to connect with each other and talk about movies. I think it's super fun to have that type of outlet because it gives me a chance to connect with the outside world a little bit, you know?
We have kids who are able to have something to look forward to every week and really have this social interaction online with their social club. And that's been really one of our most successful things during this time.
I think that, what I see there is just a great place for people to get support and parents to get some breaks or caretakers to get a little break.
Month after month, one of the things the parents were really seeing is some regression in kids, depression, the social in-person interaction can't be compared to. So we did make the decision to totally outfit the center with COVID compliant plexiglass. And that's one of the things that we fundraise for. I mean, to be able to have these classes for the kids, it's life-changing. We have waiting lists because they're so anxious to have this in-person experience. And we're one of the only essential facilities in the Valley that does in-person classes. People are alone sometimes in their house for weeks and months with their special needs child, and that is incredibly difficult. It's not just about coming in to the center, it's also about having somebody to call, because a lot of the things that I'm doing now during the COVID times is fielding calls from parents who just want to talk and just want to vent and just need somebody to talk to. So I think what we're doing is really just creating a secondary expanded family, so everyone's part of our family.